All right, we're live.
That gave us warning about these things, sir.
Welcome to our yelling stream.
Nobody
warning
yell.
Oh no!
Take me to dinner first.
What?
We're doing some really avant-garde art where you're gonna watch 5 people shout at their computer screen. Ooh, not words, just sounds.
Yeah.
But
Adventure. All right, your choices are
Ooh.
Yeah, we figured it out. Oh, we got covered by Spoofy. We're fine. Don't worry.
Everybody spoofy?
Spoofy.
What? Spotify?
Yeah, Spoofy.
Oh, got it. Correct.
Oh, speaking of Spotify, Dan, I need to get on your family
Hey, get on my
plan.
family.
I got charged $10 for it, and I was like, no, thank you.
No, I have a family.
I have a chosen family, and it's right here. Yeah. I guess I'm officially no longer a student, even though I graduated a year ago.
God.
I hate to see
Well, if
it.
any of you need it, I have a Showtime subscription for another 20 days. So if you want to use that, let me know.
Oh yeah, can you just let me know the username and password right now?
Sure, I'll put it in chat.
Just plug your ears for a second.
No, I'll just put it in chat. It'll be easy to copy and paste it.
Honestly, if you just gave it to chat and just like.
I mean, I'm canceling it after 20 days because it's not worth having beyond that.
Yeah.
Hello, Macaroni and Brie. Hello.
Macaroni.
Good to see you both. How's life?
Nice to see you.
How Tuesday? Your Tuesday.
If I could deduce your Tuesday.
Ooh, dumb. Quick thing to note, Motion Designs Go Live said it's his 50th anniversary, or his 50th birthday.
Whoa.
Live after we're done, we should rate him.
We
Hell
absolutely
yeah. Motion
give.
sign birthday.
should. That's exciting.
Yeah. It's so. Alright, you guys know the shtick.
I was hoping Motion Design was gonna see this because I know how much he loves our long form.
Yeah.
We did it for his birthday. This
Yeah,
is
it's for motion design.
yeah, we planned this perfectly. Good job, us.
Hey, Motion Design. Thanks for watching the VOD. Welcome to our previous stream.
I like that you named him Motion Divine, which is just
Yeah.
a whole
Motion
different
Divine.
Motion divine.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Motion Divine.
That's his final form. When he
This is my
evolves.
first day. I need help understanding what's going to happen with Mindscape.
Ooh.
I guess we'll explain the mechanics of what we're gonna do. If you really need us to.
Dan, do you want to explain the mechanics?
Yeah, sure, I can try it. All right, welcome to Mindscape, the only scape that's in your mind. Now, basically what we're gonna be doing is a choose your own adventure. And the way it's gonna work is each of us are gonna be telling a story one at a time, and then we're gonna leave an open-ended blank for you. And the 4 other people are then going to propose the next step that will happen. And then you, chat, will be able to vote on which of those 4 you want to happen next in the story. And then that person takes over the story until there's another gap. Pretty much do that. Yeah. RuneScape. It's not RuneScape, Steve.
That one. Hey, Steve. That one is not in your mind.
Yeah, that's not in your mind.
I said it's not to be confused with the other rune-based scape,
Right.
because this is the mind-based one,
But that's basically how it works.
or
Or-
the field-based one.
A far branded scape.
Oh,
Ooh, Farscape.
I,
Is Farscape worth it? Like, I've watched the first 2 episodes and I was like, I don't know if this show's worth it. Is it worth it? Because I'll genuinely, on your opinion, if you think it's worth it, I'll probably watch it.
it's a very like my dad type of show, and I think I watched some episodes when I was like 8 years old, and it's definitely like a cult classic. If you're willing to get into a cult classic, then like you'll probably enjoy it, but don't expect that much.
Like, there were some cool concepts. Like, I liked that the ship was piloted like by an alien.
Was alive and I
Was
like,
alive.
oh, shit.
Very cool. I liked that a lot. Like, I don't know. It seems like there's some cool stuff. It's a tough call. Oh no. See, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
Hey, Scoop. Good to see ya.
Scoop.
Mac and Brie likes the E version.
Escape.
I I guess you could call me a fisherman because I'm fond of the net, the scape with the net.
I guess you could call me a magician because I'm fond of The Great Escape.
I just
It's
like
a war movie, not anything to do with magic.
I just
I guess
like
you could call me
goats.
a zookeeper because I'm big on ape escape.
Yes.
I prefer the goats.
Already said that one. You're out.
No, I'm thinking of the goat escape.
I feel like we just did 6 bits in a row, and I wasn't following any of them.
Yes, and baby, yes.
That's our
and.
stream.
So, Scoop, this is the second time we're doing this. This is the Mindscape Theater. Ooh. Basically, we're gonna tell a story. At a certain point in time, we're going to tell a story based on our individual perspectives, which are down below. And at a certain point in time, the story reaches a decision point, a nexus. We will throw it up to see what 4 possible solutions are, and then chat will get to vote on what that solution is. It's pretty straightforward. A little, could go anywhere. Could be funny, could be a little more serious. Kind of just depends on the tone that happens.
Yeah.
Last time was a horror tone. Who knows what it'll be this time? We'll see. The world is our oyster.
Yes.
That is oyster.
This looks pretty oystery.
Oystery. But yeah, so do we want to get the suggestion from Chatteroni?
Sounds good to me.
Hair.
Last time I think we just got a location, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we can do that again.
Did we just do one suggestion last time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so.
Keep it vague.
Keep it vague. Open for interpretation.
Oh.
To our interpretive dance stream.
Yeah. Called Mindscape. You just interpretive dance in your mind.
It's funny you say that. I was on a ton of Zoom calls on Sunday, and I got to a point, it was like 7 hours of back-to-back Zoom calls, and I got to a point where I could barely communicate, so I would just say things and be like, I don't know, man. And then at one point, everyone on my last call, they asked me a question, and I was like, well, and then everyone on the call was like, what is it? And I was like, here it is. Zoom does funny things to the brain.
Yeah.
Truly.
Scooby-Doo and Mac and Bree, you better stop it right
Hey,
now.
gum.
Fire
Enough
smell.
out of you two.
Ooh.
For some reason, this is unrelated. Did anybody watch the show called Zoom on PBS
Yeah.
Kids?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Zoom.
I remember one of my favorite bits as a kid that I learned from the show is one person sitting on a bench, and then someone comes and it's like, and they just go, sitting on a bench, and they're like, yeah, and it's like, cool, and they're like, sitting on a bench. And it's just that forever. It's like that at infinitum, and then they go, that's fresh paint, and they're like, huh, and then that's the end. And I was like,
That's
The
a lot.
worst improv game of all time.
It explains a lot about your comedic style.
yeah. It's just beaten into submission, and then it's like, I guess that was a punchline at the end. Yep.
The locations do not have to be real, but I would say try to keep them vague.
You can keep them
Try to keep
vague.
them more general, I guess, would be a better word for it.
A
There was
nude
this,
beach.
there's this
An alley somewhere.
there's this Zoom thing where it was like the one adult they had on the show. Do you remember? It was like this guy who, I don't remember anything about him, but there was this one bit where he went to dinner with maybe his girlfriend and his brother ordered something expensive, so he had to order the grilled cheese because he didn't have enough money to pay for the dinner. And that's all I remember, but I'm never going to forget it.
I was Zoom teaching us social anxieties from a young age. I really appreciate that.
See, I very distinctively remember that Zoom, like the giant Zoom, like letters.
Yeah,
But I don't really remember much of what the show itself was at
it
all.
was nonsense.
Yeah, it was definitely nonsense. I don't think
Yeah,
it really
I guess.
had any, like, meat to its content.
Yeah.
It was just like random things.
It was kind of like a watered down version of like all that.
Sometimes they would talk about like volunteering too. I remember it talking about volunteering.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's also a lot of like flash dance.
I hope so. All right, what of these locations do we got cooking?
I mean, we got a couple different options here. I think we can. Do you want to make an initial poll just to get those voting?
Hell
things?
yeah, so I can practice.
All right.
Yeah.
Number 1, cross-country bus.
Wait, scroll up a bit. I think I would like to add to the list under an oak tree.
Oak tree. Okay.
Specifically under it.
There's many.
I only have those 2, and tell me what else to put in.
Spaceship.
Spaceship.
And then desert church. Those will be the 4.
Desert Church. All right. So chat, this is where you get to practice. You just have to type in the number next to it. So 1 for cross-country bus, 2 for under an oak tree, 3 for spaceship, 4 for desert church. I thought I put dessert church, which is a different thing, but I got it. I got it right.
Ooh, 5 dessert church. No.
Dessert church.
This is my sand cake. That's all I got. That's it. That's the whole bit.
You mixed
Dude,
desert and
look at the
dessert, not dessert and church.
Desert.
Of all the food-related puns in the world, you just said a thing.
Your bit was wrong.
No bits are wrong, okay?
Oh.
Like Dom reminds us, we can do any bit once.
Yeah. My rule of thumb for comedy has always been, you can say whatever you want, as long as it's funny, but it better be funny.
Would you not say sand cake isn't laugh out loud, a rafflecopter hilarious?
My rafflecopter goes soy, 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 soy. It's an older meme, so check
So
it out.
far, we only have 3 votes in, but they're all for Desert Church.
We'll go ahead and give it a few more seconds, and then we'll most likely go to a desert church.
Do we have more than 3 viewers is the question.
Yeah. Well, we're waiting for the swing states to come in.
Yes,
okay.
the undecided.
Yeah.
Right.
These write-in ballots are taking their sweet time getting.
Heyo, topical comedy. That's what you signed up for.
Political comedy, just what everyone loves to hear.
Yeah. There's not too much of it.
Literally everyone loves political comedy.
Guys,
All right.
I think we might actually want to recount because I think some of these could be false votes.
Yeah.
I think we're
Are
going
you saying?
to Desert
Are you saying there are dead
Church.
commenters, Max?
All right.
Alrighty. Take me to church, I work first. Who among us?
Desert highway.
Tom, you're already in the middle.
I started last time though. It feels disingenuous to start a second time.
But you're good at it, Dom.
Alrighty, if I must. Chat. I guess we're gonna buckle up. We're gonna get ready. Get those voting fingers excitable. The desert church, huh? Is that what we got? One week before Christmas, 2014, we find ourselves out in Death Valley, a long stretch of a side road. There's a small shack that's been converted into a neon church. It's got one neon cross that sits above the doorway, a welcome sign that's clearly from an old bar that has an arrow pointing into the door. The door is on a hinge that's barely able to close. And as you walk inside, there's a sense of a smell of incense. Icons from a more Eastern perspective line the walls. There's a faux red carpet that rolls up the center to the small makeshift folding table altar. And at the altar are 2 characters. We see a woman with long red hair and an eye patch, and we see a man with a big twirly mustache and a scar across his chest. He's shirtless. The 2 of them are praying together, mumbling some words that are hard to understand. From just then, we hear a crack, a snap of a branch outside one of the back windows. what do we do? What do we go do?
We're going in hoedown.
Oh, hoedown order? Oh, of course it's me first. The crack of the branch resonates throughout the church as the two parishioners look up and peek out a small window cut out of the side of the of the church, and they notice a man standing there. He's battered and bruised, and his clothes are all torn up. And they want to welcome him.
How do we condense that down into a vote?
Man outside the window.
You hear the crack and take that as a cue to start thunderous applause. You might be the only person in that church other than the two standing up at the altar, but you're going to clap as loud as you can anyways.
Stick outside the church seems like somebody should go investigate. There could be problems around.
We're in the middle of a prayer. It'll be fine. Let's do nothing. All right, it's time to vote, chat.
It's voting time. Desert church.
Desert
Neon
church.
Desert church.
Dessert.
Dessert church.
Dessert.
Sand cake. Dan, I believe. Did you ever hear? There's a German word for what you said. It's called Zugzwine or something like that, which is like it's a chess term meaning the best move is to not move.
Yeah, but you can't not move.
Yeah. Can you not move in chess? I
No.
don't think that's not.
That's
Well,
the end of the
that's-
game.
that's-
But that's like the point of like.
That's the
It's
point.
basically surrender.
Okay.
Because it's like theoretically the best thing is to do nothing, but you can't, so you find the next best thing.
Right.
All right, we got 2 votes in. We can get more. Come on.
Get them votes.
All you gotta do is put your favorite number in chat, and then it shows.
As long as your favorite number is between 1 and 4.
Yeah.
The Holy Ross, thank you for showing up, giving us a 4.
Thank you.
Interesting. So it seems like chat wants to know what's going on with this ceremony. They're unconcerned with the outside world so far. Makes sense.
Like, fuck that. Wouldn't that noise? I don't want to hear it.
Alrighty.
All right.
I think we're
Sometimes
there.
The best
All
option
right.
is to do nothing.
Moving on to doing nothing. The two continue with their prayer, not wanting to deal with whatever is going on outside. They mutter under their breath words that can't be completely discerned, and when it's done, they lean over and each blow out the candle that is lit there. Smoke starts to fill the room as the candles are now dispersed. They stand up, they look at each other, give themselves a quick handshake. The person with the eye patch says, "Did you make all the preparations?" The man with the slash across his chest said, "Yeah, but it was a little risky." He gestures to his chest. "That's okay," she says. They go outside to go collect some firewood. They're walking down their path, and when they get to the lumber, they notice that the axe that they left there is gone. What should they do?
The old desert forest.
There was a tree outside.
Now, clearly, one of the two of them must have misplaced the axe while they were working previously. So, the pure intention here would be to figure out which of the few rooms in the building it could possibly be in. And so, we should search the building.
Bet we could find something in this weird little church that we could fashion into a makeshift axe. And maybe kind of make a replacement.
Well, I mean, it seems like the ritual's complete. May as well just set the whole church on fire. Spare the labor.
There could be people around who are trying to do us harm. We should get out of here as fast as possible.
All right, chat. 1 to 4, you know how this goes. Search the building, make a replacement, burn down the church, or leave quickly.
Wow, chat. What kind of mood are we in tonight?
It's a big one.
This is gonna set a lot of story in motion either way.
I got 2 votes for make a replacement.
Interesting.
All right, when I say the forest, they refer to it as forest. It's like 4 trees, okay?
What kind of tree is it down in the desert?
They're just like Christmas trees. They brought them there with them. They're not native to the desert.
They planted evergreens?
Yeah.
Fascinating. In a desert?
Yeah.
How do the root systems work?
They just dug far enough.
Oh, that makes sense.
Fir trees certain fir trees like sand.
Yeah.
So
Really?
see the pine barrens. It's like all pines, but it's very sandy soil, so there's not many trees that can really grow there.
Whoever they're praying to made it happen, all right?
Who are they praying?
Possible.
Find out, guys.
All right, I think we got 3 votes for make a replacement and no votes anywhere else. So it looks like we're gonna be making a replacement.
Okay. Well, the first step is to look around the church. Not too much in this main room, but there is a back room. So go into there, and there's a small office space with a desk and some papers. It's pretty orderly. Doesn't seem very well used. There's sort of a layer of dust on most things in here. But in the back, there is a sort of old sign. I mean, there are signs covering the building. It's not too atypical that there would be a sign of disuse in the office. But this weird little metal sign could probably work as a sort of makeshift axe. It's a no parking sign, although there's plenty of space outside to park, which might indicate why there's a no parking sign indoors as opposed to actually demarcating anything. So take the sign and head on outside. The 2 seem to be waiting there, sort of searching around. Once they notice the sign in hand, they sort of stop and say, okay, yeah, I think we can make that work. The man with the scar on his chest takes the sign into his hand and bends it with his foot, sort of shapes it into like more of an angled, something that would make for cutting a little bit better. And they walk over to one of the trees that hasn't been chopped down for. Meanwhile, the woman with red hair and an eye patch is standing there saying, so, how long do you plan on sticking around and helping out with the renovation? What do you answer?
As long as this place needs, we will build it together. The 2 characters seem to know each more, and they know how to fix this building.
We're just here as long as it's convenient. We're just, looking for the reward we were promised for being here.
We're here for a job. If you keep paying, then we'll keep staying. We have to go where the work is, and that's it.
Look, I'm just sort of here for the night. I said I could help you out, but I think I gotta be leaving tomorrow morning to other things I gotta do.
Very interesting.
All right, time to vote it up. It's very hard to abbreviate the whole idea.
I think you did a great job.
Max's is keep paying, keep staying. Or keeping staying. Oh, God, whatever. You know, you get it, chat. Vote it up. Vote it up.
Interesting. Interesting.
Interesting.
Are you thinking, chat? Oh, no. They are thinking hard. I mean, it's important. Every decision here matters. So I appreciate the thoughtfulness.
We're very split right now.
We are quite.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Uh-oh, you troublemaker.
The next vote decides it all.
Yeah, if we were playing Split the Room, we'd all be winners. That's for sure.
Toon, wait, you haven't voted yet. Sorry, not to call you out.
Yeah.
Here it is.
As too many votes.
Well, it seems like I might do it.
I'll give him one more chance to tie it up again.
A 3, a 2, a 1.
And it's finished. All right. Go over to me. Yeah, as it stands, I'm going to be leaving tomorrow, so we'll get as much as we can done tonight while we work through the night, but that's about it for me. She looks at him and is like, oh, I thought I was going to have you here for longer until it was done. He just shrugs and picks up the axe and chops down one of the 4 trees that are there. They both grab a side of it and drag it back towards the church. As they lay it down outside, they look at the building, not in its best shape. They're looking at it, and a single tear goes down the woman's face. She's like, ma'am, I remember what this place used to look like. Now it just looks forgotten. She grabs the axe out of his hand and starts aggressively cutting up the tree into smaller bits. Logs, that's what they are. Takes all the sticks off and everything else. The man goes inside to grab another tool. When he gets in there, he notices that the candles are lit again at the altar. He goes, that's weird, and blows them out. He walks back outside, and what does he see?
Outside is a creature that's peculiar but not unheard of around these parts. It's rather considered a symbol of luck, as the rabbit rears up on its hind legs with its antlers gleaming in the sunlight.
He sees the tree cut into perfect boards. It's like they were machined, but the only thing around is the woman and the sign.
He sees 3 people standing there. A woman with long red hair and an eye patch, a man with a scar across his chest, and a copy of you.
He sees the tree that was just cut down back in its place, still planted. and the woman where she stood 5 minutes ago.
Lots of different options there. This, oh boy. Our dessert church is getting a little flavor to it. I'm hyped to see
I think we might need to clarify something amongst ourselves. Are we allowed to do that?
How many characters are there?
Yeah, I was thinking that there were the 2 characters plus us as a character.
Right.
I didn't exactly see when us as a character came in.
Yeah, I never heard when we came in.
Well, I thought that was when we started. It started with us seeing the other 2 characters.
Oh. They've just been standing there. Alright, we're there. There's a character. We have a character there.
We have
Yeah.
a character.
Okay.
Jackalope, that's what it is. I was gonna put
Yeah.
in parentheses, this has a name, but I don't know it. I was gonna just put Wendigo with a question mark.
Dan, it's what one of our Pokemon was based on.
Is it a griffin?
Oh man.
No, don't be silly.
Alright, we got 2
Everyone knows
votes.
a griffin looks like this.
Got him right back.
Alright, chat, we got 2 votes in. If you
Chad,
got
you've
more-
clearly never seen the Scooby-Doo movie where you think Alrighty.
Oh, 3 votes, that's enough to secure it for me.
All right.
Jackalope.
Jackalope it is. Take it away, Steve.
So you walk out the door and see this small creature rearing up on its hind legs, picking leaves off of a almost dead brush, and it, as you open the door, it jerks to look at you. Its antlers shining in the sunlight, and you sit there, and it reminds you of better times when you were a bit more fortunate and not under such a stressful working environment as Derelict Chapel, but you've done your best, and unfortunately the circumstances around the chapel haven't been great, but you've survived, and you've gathered 2 friends over the past few months, and really you've started to bring it back to its former glory. And as you watch this jackalope eat the leaves on this bush with only a couple leaves remaining, you see that the parallels between you and the rabbit. And you begin to think this could get better. We're going to go somewhere with this. This isn't just a dead chapel in the middle of the desert, but something that you and your 2 friends have built and will continue to build until it's ready for the day. What is the day?
What is the day? Was the question.
What is the day?
What's the big day coming up?
Well, Christmas is right around the corner. 'Tis the season for miracles.
The big day, it's Christmas Eve. Night is when all the fun things happen around these parts, especially in the desert.
See, the governor is coming to town. He's coming on Christmas, the day after Christmas, actually. And this has to be looking tip-top shape so that we can finally get on the governor's good side.
Coming up, it's actually gonna be it's gonna be our birthday in about 2 weeks. Born on the last day of the year, actually, so getting excited for that, and I'd like to spend my day Just in worship. All right, hold on. I gotta do this. All right, what did everybody say? It was Christmas Eve.
Governor coming to town.
Governor is coming. My birthday. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Vote it up, Chad.
What up?
What's the big day?
What's the big day? What's the big day?
Alex, did you get our Seinfeld chat working?
No.
What the
I didn't even
people
have time
need?
to open up Nightbot.
Guy.
Ooh, birthday.
Birthday.
Happy birthday. Christmas Eve.
Was it Christmas is 1 week away or 2 weeks away?
1 week away.
1 week.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Fun week.
Ooh. Hey, 12 squared me. What's up?
12 squared me.
Dan flexing his math knowledge on us.
Duh! Yeah, you know.
Hey, 6 times 24 me. Hey.
Alrighty.
All right. Any last chance? One
I
vote
thought
could
it
sway
was.
it all.
A 2, a 3. Alrighty.
All right. Thanks, Holy Ross, just to put
That
the nail
steals it.
in the coffin.
Feeling coffee.
He looks over at us and says, I'm really excited for your birthday. It's been a long time since we've been able to celebrate it together. We look at him and we go, first time we've said anything, saying, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. But we got to get this done before that. The woman, the only one doing any manual work at this point, having finished cut up the tree, is like, all right, you gonna grab these pieces or not? The man looks at us and we both shrug, go over to pick up the pieces, and we go up the ladder that's on the side of the house. We start laying down the pieces to reinforce the roof, help prevent the rain that's been coming in when it rains rarely in the desert. And the sun is just beating down on us for a few hours as we keep working. It gets to midday and the roof is almost halfly reinforced by the tree that we've put up there. As we look out, we see only spare pieces of house along the desert, as we just see gusts of sand going along the landscape. It's quite a view. We think about how we haven't seen this view in a while. I look over at the man and I say, what'd you do for your birthday? I'm sorry I missed it. He looks and he says,
finally got to spend it with my family. You know, we've been taking on this project for so long that I've lost most of my social connections.
He says, well, for my birthday, the spirit turned the sands around us into water, and I was able to go water skiing like I've always wanted to.
He scratches his chin and says, it was a fun one. I got 3 buried beneath the altar.
He says, normally you get some pretty good worship for your birthday, but worshipers have been hard to come by these days.
All right.
Mhm.
Did you say you got 3 buried beneath the altar, Dom?
What I said. That's
Okay,
correct.
I just want to make sure. Just want to make sure.
Yep.
You know, what did you do for your birthday? Oh, you know, triple homicide.
I didn't say 3 what? Could have been anything.
Could be magic beans.
Yeah, you like beans, Steve?
You like beans?
You like beans, punk?
You ever heard of beans before?
You ever see that talking dog pushing your bush beans?
Uh,
I think that dog actually passed away recently in some sad news.
Oh no.
Are the beans
Rip
okay?
Duke.
Do you think Pizza Rat is still alive?
no.
Definitely not.
Oh my god.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh,
Got
it's looking like 3.
Oh,
Alright, we'll give him one more shot.
I'll give you one more chance.
Don't throw away your shot, chat. Get your vote in.
Are you concerned about throwing away your shot? Are you young, scrappy, and hungry? Have you answered yes to any of these questions? If so,
Term life insurance might be for you.
Alright, it looks like, yep, Gumboots nail and coffin. It was fun. 3 buried beneath the altar is the victor. Take it away, Dom.
Nearly stumbling back, my eyes go wide as I look at the man with the scar. 3? You had 3 for your birthday? A chuckle comes from down at the bottom of the ladder. The woman with the red hair and the eye patch laughs. I know. I was pretty impressed too. I only managed to get 2. I stare at them. 2? That's still more than I've ever gotten for any birthday. Hesitantly, sheepishly, I look to the man with the scar and ask, when we're finished here, is it okay if I see? The man's hesitant, but scratching his chin once again says, depends how quickly you work. And like that, like a bolt of lightning, I start reinforcing the wood on the roof further and further. A dark cloud starts to appear on the horizon. The woman taps her watch, and we all hurry to finish up. Scuttling down the ladder, we walk into the church once more. It looks cleaner than before. Clearly, the work here is progressing. I take a breath deep, and over bread that we're sharing under the new candlelight, I once more ask, is it okay if I take a look? The man, again hesitant, dips his bread into some water, breaking off another piece, takes a bite and swallows. It's a deep, earthy swallow, the kind you can hear all the way down the throat. Wiping the sweat from his brow and extinguishing one of the candles such the neon on the inside can show through the window, he says, all right, take a look. And taking a long tarp, removes it off of the altar. Underneath it, there's a trap door. What do we do next?
Well, he did say he would let you see, so it would be rude not to. It would be rude to renege on your word now. So you'd have to go down into the darkness below the chapel and witness the 3 relics that he has in the basement.
Well, we've seen this trapdoor before. We're gonna need that ladder outside. You're not really supposed to go outside once you come in, but a quick jog outside to grab it and come back in shouldn't be too much of an issue.
before you go down, you're going to want to do one more ritual.
I know I said I wanted to see this, but it might not be in my best interest to do it right now. Don't really know what's gonna happen. I'll politely decline.
Oh boy.
Lightly out.
Oh
More shot.
man.
Shin.
This isn't like spooky, but like this is tense. There's so
sir.
many directions. Is this what all improv is? Why do we script all our Friday shows?
Yeah. This is really fun, Don. We should do this more.
You guys want to do an improv stream together?
Sounds lame.
I just kind of feel like my character has gotten stale for our Friday shows.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I don't know why you're method acting and keeping up the vegan thing even outside of the shows.
I have to stay in character.
Yeah. Ooh. Alright, we got 2 votes for go down the trapdoor, 1 for grab the ladder, and 1 for perform 1 ritual.
Genie, bruh, thanks for joining.
Hey, Genie, bruh.
See ya.
Genie, bruh.
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 Also, Kelly voiced RX. I don't know if we've seen you before, but
Oh,
thanks.
yes. Hello and
Kelly,
welcome.
I didn't notice. Yeah, thanks for voting. Genie, vote for what you want us to do next. It's a choose your own adventure. We just found a trap door, right?
Genie did vote.
Ah,
Genie-
I don't notice it. I'm just like, Genie, come on. Staring at the comment that is the vote.
Oh, I think Tinwit might have sealed it.
Ooh, it's close. And a 3, and a 2, and a 1. All right, we're going down the trap door.
Hey.
Take it away, Steve.
So, opening the trapdoor, you scuttle down under the altar, and you witness a small, almost arid room around you. Your tongue almost dries out as you enter this place, and it's just surrounded by deep cuts in this rock that they've just ground into the earth to create this little room under the chapel. And on the hewn rock, there's strings of electrical wire connecting to the different lamps to light the room up. And in the middle of the room is a tarp with some wooden blocks under it, the wooden crates like they use in shipping and forklifting, and the tarp covers 3 masses on top of these crates, and so you wait for your friend with the scar to come down, and he jokes to himself, well, it took me a while to get these, and let me tell you, it really made my birthday something special. But soon we'll have the whole thing, and then our church will really be something to appreciate. And he pulls the tarp out, and on the ground, or on the wooden crates, there are a number of different clay tablet fragments. The 3 that he had mentioned, 2 from the woman that she had mentioned, a couple that you had earned yourself, and you look at it and you notice that it starts to make somewhat sense. The writing on it looks familiar. You're starting to finally understand why you were called here and not to any other ordinary church. You were called for this reason. What is that reason?
Well, there are about 4 or 5 pieces missing. This could be your chance to finish the whole thing.
I mean, I could just try reading it now. I could make out some of it. Who needs the rest? We have nothing but time. It's 2 weeks till my birthday. Who knows what we could discover in that time?
Sorry. By the end of the year, just about everything on the overworld is going to dry up. So we're going to have to get these tablets together we're gonna need to get the rest by my birthday if we want to be able to save it.
I think I could find a lot of power in one tablet that maybe will unlock the rest. Maybe this one tablet will possess, if I can hack into that, maybe I can finally learn the secrets that I haven't been able to figure out.
I'm nervous. Is anyone else nervous?
I'm also nervous.
Oh yeah.
Alright, Chatteroni.
That's my secret.
Fine, keep your secrets. Chat, what's happening here?
What is happening here?
It's up to chat, not us.
Yeah.
Chat's telling this story.
We are just puppets.
And everyone.
Genie bro, vote!
What's wrong with you, Genie, bro?
You're left down.
Stop just writing numbers and vote!
That's fine. Yeah.
Bruh, please. Oh yeah, I guess we were all marionettes. No, whatever. It's fine.
Is there that much of a difference?
Aren't marionettes a type of puppet? Or is that not how it works?
Yeah, they're a type of puppet. Marionettes have strings specifically.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey!
Oh,
back and breathe.
Sub.
Appreciate it. Genie, bro.
Thank you.
Welcome, bro.
Genie bruh, maybe now you'll actually vote!
This bit
Oh,
is
I think we
definitely
had
not
it in
gonna get
subs
old.
only mode.
No.
Oh, dude. Wow, is it?
You're wonderful, Mac.
Alright, it looks like we're gonna try reading the tablet.
That's a mistake.
Was that who was that? Was that you, Dom?
That was me.
Alright, Dom. Let's try reading that tab.
I hear the creak of the man with the scar ascending back above to the church below. As I approach and study over the tablets, one of the new ones that was brought in over his birthday starts to glow faintly. The impulse in me starts to race. My mind starts to surge. I can almost start to make out some of the words of the tablet. I go to pick it up, and as I do, words fall out of my mouth, uncontrollable to my own tongue. They present themselves. And suddenly I hear a scream from upstairs. "You fool! What are you doing? You were supposed to wait!" As they say this, a loud thud impacts the outside. Another thud. I scramble to the top. As I look out and throw open the shutters of the small church, small meteors are impacting the desert. Fire on each of them blazing into it. The man with the scar grabs a sword off the top of the altar, throws it to the woman with the eye patch. He grabs a shovel, and the two of them run out to try and jump into their truck. They call to you. The man says, "Come, get in the truck." The woman says, "Leave him. He knows what he's done." What do we do?
Well, if anything, we need to be on that truck. Invoke the names of our two friends, for that will compel them to allow us passage.
Well, we're already through part of this ritual. Maybe I can summon something and I won't even need the truck or the two of them. I'll be able to get out of here on my own.
If I continue reading the tablets, maybe once it's completed, then it won't be so bad. May as well double down.
As I stand there and they're torn, not knowing if they're gonna take me or leave me, I just have to sprint as fast as I can towards the truck, as I know she's gonna be trying to push on the gas to leave me.
Wow, those are 4 really exciting choices.
Oh boy.
Alright, chat.
Also, to clarify, it's actively raining meteors. It wasn't like 3. It's like
Yeah, oh yeah,
coming.
they're still coming.
There are more meteors than there are evergreens.
Correct. There are more meteors than desert evergreens.
Desert greens.
Desert greens.
Oh my.
Welcome
Desert
to our apocalypse story, guys. We did it. We got the genre.
It's an apocalypse.
It was getting a little Eldritch horror for a second, but I
It
think
was.
we're pulling out a little bit. But we'll see. Who knows? Last time we went through a time tunnel ourselves, so anything is possible. Stay tuned.
Fucking time.
Chat's stunned. They don't know what to vote for.
Ooh, Genie Bruh! Let's go. Finally voting.
Oh my god, Dan.
It was the sub.
It was the sub, yeah.
Whoa. Hello. Welcome.
Yo, yo.
This is a nice choose your own adventure. So far, what's happened is we're repairing a mysterious church in a desert. There's 4 trees outside. We've seen a jackalope. We went inside, read a mysterious tablet, and a meteor started raining down. And now we're trying to figure out what to do about that. So
Yeah.
now you're caught up.
Now our friends
Go
are
for your
trying
vote.
to leave us with the truck, or maybe not.
It's 50-50. Damn.
Like a 4 right now.
Yeah.
Whoa. It's like we're dead ass sprinting.
Alright. With only a moment's hesitation, our feet start sliding through the ground as we run. Run as fast as we can towards this truck. The woman with the eye patch sees us coming and reaches across with her leg and steps on the gas as she puts the manual shift into gear. The truck starts going down the dirt road. Meteors are still falling all around us, with putting a lot of dust up in the air. It's getting hard to run with all of the dust that's entering our lungs. So running as fast as we can, we're only about 10 feet behind this truck, which, let's be fair, doesn't go very fast as it used to. As we're going, our chest starts to get filled up with dust, and we're coughing. We're not gonna make it. The truck, it gains distance on us. Those 10 feet become 20 feet, 30 feet, 50 feet. We fall to the ground, head first. We look up as we see the truck, now about 100 feet away from us. We look up in the sky. One meteor. We spot. Comes down. We see the line of trajectory. It hits the truck. Right in the bed. The front of it sticks up while the back gets dug down into the desert sand. We're still coughing now, having put even more sand in our mouth by face planting into the ground. We try to yell for their names, but we have too much sand in our mouths to be able to do so. We're tired, covered in sand, inside and out. What do we do?
We have to push on. If there's any chance of survival, we need numbers. This isn't the only thing that's about to happen. It's about to get worse.
Well, the phrase of lightning never striking twice is pretty bogus, but maybe meteors never striking the same place twice. It's got some weight behind it. So we gotta find the closest meteor and hug up against it until this shower ends.
We should take the tablet fragment from our pocket. Maybe there's a secret that we could unlock or something else. Maybe I can reverse it if I speak it backwards or something. I don't know.
They must be doomed. We should head back to the church and finish what we started.
Oh boy.
Vote now.
Vote now!
Oh no.
Oh man,
Or-
things went to hell. You just had to read the tablets, didn't you, chat?
You just had to read the tablets.
I mean, if the glowy rock makes words fall out of your mouth, whose fault is that really? That's all I'm saying.
Okay, here come the votes.
I have a weird idea of where I think we're going this way, but it might actually be going this direction, so I'm not going to say it as a joke.
Okay.
I don't know, so
I
I'm glad you do. Ooh, this one's pretty split, honestly.
It's pretty split. That's only because Genie Bro's now voting. Love you, Genie Bro.
Genie Bro has voted in every one that.
Shh, Steve! Just make fun of him.
Yeah, if we neg our viewers, maybe they'll come back more.
Oh.
Oh, that's the fourth vote for look into the tablet.
It's like y'all never learn, do you?
Yeah, right? You learned nothing.
Looks like we're looking into the tablet. Take it away, Dom.
Why it be like this? Well, we're about to find out.
A pulse of heat, a sensation warm to the touch, aches in my pocket. Sticking my hand in, I feel it there. I didn't even remember slipping it in, but yet there it is. Pulling out the fragment of the tablet, the words still glowing on it. I hold it up. It covers the distant fire and wreckage of the truck. There's no sound except that of the crackle of the blaze. The words once again pulse, but they seem to shift, rearrange themselves symbol by symbol on the tablet. I'm torn. Do I read it again? I look at the sky, feeling the impact of my choices, literally one impact after the other on the ground. Sand kicked up. It's hard to speak. The words are clear in my mind, but my tongue is covered in the dirt and sand that I'm pulling. As I open my mouth, a bit more sand flies out into the wind. It's picking up harder and harsher. Looking at my options, I look back to the church, once more to the wreckage, and I know all I have left is to read. I look down at the tablet, the words still forming in an amorphous way, and suddenly they're solidified as I speak them. As I do this, I drop the tablet. It becomes molten hot. It falls to the ground, and like a whirlpool, the sand starts to swirl inward. At first, I try to back up, but it grows too quickly, and I'm caught up in the swell of it. I'm pulled, and towards the bottom, a black pit, slowly pulsating. A sheer beam of white light goes to the sky, and like it, meteors that were coming suddenly swerve out of the way, but I'm being pulled deeper and deeper into the pit. Where does the pit go?
We've prepared for this, and even though my friends aren't here for it, I have to go boldly into that new world in order to save them.
Well, there's really no way I can escape this pit, but I gotta take something of this world with me. So I make sure to grab onto a nearby small meteor that just hit next to me and just hold on to that as I go down into the pit.
The pit leads to a place where if humans go, they're no longer human.
I know if I show up where this is leading, I'll be greeted with people that won't be happy with me. I gotta try to climb out, make sure that I don't make it in there as much as I can.
I'll go for freedom. Bold choice.
Okay.
What will chat? Bold choice.
Decide.
Oh, we forgot thumbs up, thumbs down.
Oh, that mechanic. That's right.
Too late.
We'll do it later. Next time.
Do it later.
Next time.
Dan, did your theory have anything to do with Cartoon Network?
No.
What?
Oh, okay. I was, I don't know. I was thinking of Return the Slab. Return the slab will suffer my curse.
There's a couple different influences that are floating throughout here. You know, that's storytelling.
Who else was scarred as a child by that? That mummy, that CG mummy encouraged the coward to come.
I wasn't. The mummy didn't get me. It was always that like cat/fox. They changed it depending on the episode, but that thing scared me the most. The one who would just snap the whole time.
Yeah.
No dogs allowed. Taps the sign. That guy was terrifying, and it was just a cat. So.
All right, we got 4 votes for the pit leads to a non-human realm.
Oh my!
Okay.
Looks like that's what we're going with. Take it away, Maximilian.
At this point, I've made my choice. There's no going back now. This is the only hope I have to be able to get back to a place where I need to. The pit is pulling me forward, and my feet trip, and I go literally headfirst into this black pit. I am pulled into it at an accelerating rate. It's hard to say what happens on the other side, not because I don't experience it, but because I no longer exactly have a body to experience it. I become currently conscious of all of the lives that came before. I feel like my back is against the wall, even though I have no back, because I can tell that this is towards the end of human existences. But I'm able to perceive all of the lives that have came before. And I can even pinpoint my 2 friends that I've spent the last many months with. I have to choose a spot on this timeline to be able to enter back in with the last power of this slab to try and make things right, to try and make things work again. Where on the timeline do I go?
I have to go back to that point, which I don't know if it's actually the beginning or if this has been in motion my whole life, but the first point that I actively remember was the sword. When our friend grabbed the sword and ran out of the house, out of the church, that is the key to solving this. We need to go back to that.
It's got to be forward. It's got to be. I have to go to my birthday. That's when this was supposed to happen. If I go to the correct day and do something different, maybe it'll reverse everything and have the power to fix what went wrong by doing it on the wrong day.
Maybe we just weren't prepared. If I go back to the day they got the eye patch and the scar, and I prevent that, maybe we'll be able to have the strength and wherewithal to survive this incident.
I know I could use this power to maybe fix what I caused, but maybe it's not something I'd ever be able to fix. Maybe I should just go to a happy time, like Christmas Day last year. in 2013.
All right, vote time. Well, we find ourselves time traveling once again.
Yeah.
We're conscious traveling. Who says we're time traveling?
This is Mindscape. If it doesn't have time travel in it, it wasn't a Mindscape.
Next time I'm just going to start off the opening narrative. Be like, we get in a time machine. Not it beat around the bush.
We enter a wormhole.
We do literally like an hour and 50 minutes of just a straight up rom-com, and then it's just like, wait! But you gotta go
You
back.
from the future!
Classic Doc Martin.
Yeah. Get on this train! Alright. Vote it up, chat.
Vote it up!
Remember, you get mailed a sticker that said, I voted today for every time you vote.
It's in Spanish.
Wait, do you guys remember when I got the I voted today in Spanish sticker?
No?
It was
Wait,
it was the 2016 election.
It was a sticker
and-
that said, I voted today in Spanish?
Yeah. No, it said Yo votado hoy or whatever it is. I think that's it. But I went. I did vote in mail or vote by mail because I was dumb and didn't register for where I actually was living, so I was still just registered for my home, which was 6 hours away. So I did vote by mail, and I went to the polling place and I was like, hey, I did vote by mail, but can I still have a sticker? Because I still want the sticker to say that I voted. And they were like, yeah, okay, but we're all out of the ones in English, so all we have left are the ones in Spanish.
Honestly, that's
So-
pretty cool.
So I got a Spanish one.
That's honestly pretty cool. I'm glad they have those. That's fun.
Yeah.
Alright, chat, it's close, but you got a few seconds.
Ooh.
Oh, we're going to the day of the scars. Take it
I
away,
figured
Dom.
they'd want to find out about those.
As my mind clicks into place, like a series of gears that starts to turn, I can feel the mortality of a physical being once more emerging from this endless void of conscious. And as I do, I stick a hand out. It reaches up and pulls forth through a dirt mound. I climb myself out of a dirt covered in it. The pit around me slowly starts to fade. I find myself in a lush green scape. I hear a scream in the distance as I see a tall woman with long red hair and sunglasses over her face. She's fighting a large insect-like creature that seems to be guarding a wooden box. I see a man with a long sword trying to help the woman. They're locked in some kind of combat. They catch me on the side and say, "What are you doing? Get back up here! Help us!" As I look around, I see the shovel. I grab the shovel and instinctively start to run towards the creature, trying to fend off its long attacks. I know where we are. I remember this place this time. This is where things started to really go south. This is where we collected our first fragment of the tablet. This large creature is hovering over the tablet, guarding it with its long legs. As we're fighting it, it takes a swing at us and we swing at it. No blow is connecting on either side. This is where things started to fall apart before the landscape started to change. It feels like every time we got a slab of tablet, the earth around us deteriorated more and more. I should tell them something. Prevent what's happening next. I know this creature is about to do something very bad. But what do I do? How do I not mess this all up?
As the beast roars forward with its multiple legs, it had been prodding before, but now it's time to strike. I need to take the strikes this time.
forced me to think back to exactly what had happened. We eventually defeated the beast, although those two weren't looking too great. We just grabbed the tablet and ran, but which part of the area deteriorated? Maybe we could use that to our advantage.
Please, forget the tablet. You're not saving the planet.
Is that a quote?
Yeah.
Well, Captain Planet.
I need that tablet if I ever want to get back on my correct timeline. I should lunge to get under there and try to read it quickly before the beast notices.
I love how easy it is to tell which commands Dan wrote.
Excuse me?
All right, vote now.
That's a compliment if I've ever heard one. Just like how you read a book and you're like, Dickens. Way too many words. Shouldn't have been paid per word.
Dickens.
He says with his plush robe and his bubble pipe. Oh no. Oh,
Chad,
no.
I don't want to lunge for this tablet. Alright, good. Thanks. Come on, Novos.
Take the hit.
Taking the hit is a bold choice.
Yeah, that's a bold one.
I didn't even consider that as an option until Steve said it. And I was
Do you
like,
want to do that, chat?
Honestly, I was thinking about doing that, and I'm like, that's not the selfish thing to do.
no. No, Dan, you're essentially opting for just do whatever we did last time.
Which is probably exactly what happened last time. I was just like, come here.
Mine's pretty similar to yours, except mine is to use what happens when you grab the tablet to our advantage.
Keep those votes coming in.
Oh, goodness.
How are we going to defeat this large insect beast?
This story.
It's quite an action adventure now.
I know, yeah.
It's an apocalypse movie. You gotta have the big set pieces on the first, second, and third acts. This is our second act set piece.
Sex piece.
That's the third act.
Oh.
Wanna know how I got these cards?
Some wild and kinky shit.
Oh. Well, it's looking like we're taking the selfish route.
Give it one more second. See if Chat's
Chat,
sure.
when will you learn?
When will you learn?
That your actions have consequences.
All right, it's been a chunk of time. All right,
no.
we're lunging for that tablet. I stare up as the beast as it's looking. Oh, too late. I look up at the beast and I wait for the moment where it's distracted by one of the other two, and when its legs are up in the air, I lunge right under the belly of the beast. I grab onto the tablet, hoping that it didn't notice me. As I look at it, it starts to glow a little bit, and the glow starts to get brighter and brighter. And I now remember where the surroundings started to fall in first. I start sinking into the ground. It's the belly of the beast that circles out, and soon it's straddling between the hole that I just created in the earth. It starts to lose its footing a little bit. As the beast looks down, it sees that I have it, and I can't go up that incline of that hill that I just created by grabbing the tablet. It looks down at me and yells out a large roar and picks up one of its claws and looks like it's gonna go right down on me, but then the man, he runs down the side of the hole and he jumps and he lands on top of me, back against my chest, and the slash goes right across his chest, cutting through the shirt that he had open there. He yells out a large roar just like the beast, and even though he's much nicer than the beast was, the woman, she goes, "Hang on!" as she runs up and she jumps onto the head of the beast, grabbing the back of its neck. It starts to wail around, giving us just enough time to climb out of that hole, but the beast, in its frenzy, swipes her across the head and she falls down to the ground. A lot of blood starts to pool out, but sorry, it's just hard to recall. We run over and we pick her up. I have the tablet that's still glowing as large as it is. The beast, now the circumference, the size of its whole body, starts to sink down as it raises its arms up in the air, and eventually the hole closes in on itself as if it was never there, the hole or the beast. I look down at my two friends, having watched them get injured, trying to save me a second time. I didn't say anything the last time this happened, but I feel compelled to say something now. What should I say?
I'm sorry, but you know our mission. We had to get the tablet. We need to get them all.
Look down at the woman with her hand over her eye and just look at the tablet and then at her. Happy birthday?
I hand her, I open the crate and hand her the shard of the tablet, and I say, "Never let me find this again."
I look up at my two injured friends, coworkers, and I say, I realize now what you've been trying to tell me this entire time. It's inevitable, isn't it?
Damn.
Gonna be, chat.
Inevitable.
I am inevitable.
Thank you for spelling that for me. All right.
What's it
Oh,
gonna
boy.
be?
This is
You didn't learn, did you, Chad?
Yeah, you didn't learn.
Nothing changed, Chad, and it's all your fault.
Literally the same exact shit happened.
Damn. It was still kind of cool to see how it happened, but it's sad. It was painful to experience.
Not as painful for the two of them.
True. It's true.
They say I love you, Alex.
Aww.
Alright, vote it up, chat. We need all your votes. If you guys vote so hard, you might break Twitch. Come on. Let's break this damn website together.
Throw some numbers in chat.
This is like a weird Twitch rom-com where it's like we loved each other so hard through Twitch that we broke the website. The amount of pogs she gave me made me know that she was the one.
Dan, I question anytime the word pog comes out of your mouth.
Me too, honestly. It sort of feels like I'm speaking another language.
Oh, okay.
It's just because Max keeps saying
Poggers.
pog like so casually around the house that it's become part of my vernacular now.
We were doing a jigsaw puzzle, and every other word, every time we got one, it was pog.
Yeah, he'd just be there like, oh, pog. Guys, just start.
Start collecting vintage pogs. Oh god.
I think I do have a pog in the other room. I don't know if I threw it out or not. Somebody left them in the labs at college one time, and I just grabbed one.
What?
Wait,
Dan, Dan, maybe our fifth emote should be you doing the pog emote, but just as your head.
As Dan instead.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Dan pog.
damn pog.
Slammers.
All right, we got 2 votes for the winning one. Any last chance?
Any more votes? Any more votes? Anyone voting?
Anything.
Gonna vote?
Everyone has equal say here.
If you're sitting there watching and you don't know what's going on, just press 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the chat.
It's just chaos.
Yeah, why not?
It's tied up.
Yes. Oh no!
All
What's
right,
it gonna be?
time for 3 fours to come in right now.
Oh yeah. All right, chat. You can't end on a tie.
Come on, chat. We need one more vote.
You
1,
broke-
2, or 1, 3, or 3 4s, or 3 1s. Those are your options.
God dang it, the Holy Ross. You to vote, but
Uh-oh.
It's a 3!
Macaroni. All right. Take it away, Maximilian.
wait, what? That's not me.
That's not you?
No,
Is that
3 is
3 was...
Who?
3 was Dom.
never let me find this again?
It is me.
Oh, it is Tom. All right, take it away, Tom.
I explained to them that they need to hide these from me. I can't be trusted, that they call to me and I wish to speak their name. They urged me never to speak the words until all of them have been assembled. And they know that we're still many months out from this. As I want to explain more, I go to start to pull out the shard from my own pocket, and suddenly my consciousness is ripped from me. This body once again is thrown into the void. As I stand there floating adrift for a second, frustrated I had not been more choosing with my words, I'm once more ripped back to the consciousness of mortality. I stand there, clawing my way once more out of the earth, except here I am back in the sand. I find myself in a small crater left by one of the asteroids. Standing over me are 2 looming shadows. Covered in blood and dirt, sand sticks to their wounds. I see a woman with a long limb hanging limply next to her, covered in blood. Her eye patch nowhere to be found, just a long scar across a bleached eye. She frowns angrily at me, but extends her good hand out. I see a man with a sword scar across his chest, and another one to match the one that has him, forming a nice X pattern. He holds a broken blade, unsheathed in his other hand. He looks disappointed, but is holding a bag of the other tablets. They open it, they pull me up, and as I stand there, I try to fumble for words, an apology, an explanation of some sort. They simply shake their head. Opening the bag, I put my tablet back in. I can see them all in there. They're glowing and pulsing. And I think, well, maybe if I could read more of them at one time instead of just the one. But I try to take this thought and put it out of my head. The man frowns. He points to a far-off mountain. He says, I think the remainder are in there, but it's going to be tricky. We take a look over at the truck. It's an absolute shambles. The meteorites have stopped, but the Earth itself is pockmarked and full of cinder and smoke and sand. I don't know what we should do. It's clear we have to go to the mountain to get the remaining pieces, but how do we prepare for such a trip?
We need to gather our supplies to to properly prepare for this. Now, if I could run this far, I can run back to the chapel and gather up some supplies and maybe even make a little sand sled out of some of the timbers we were using earlier.
We need the jackalope. That's what'll get us there.
Knowing what the answer is, even before I ask, I tell them that there's no way that we can make it out there to make it out there alive and collect all the pieces. We have to use the tablets again to be able to go forward this time.
So I look out and I see them bleeding again, as I just remembered how I caused them to get even injured in the first place. I know that I need to find these tablets for myself, and I can't bring them into this. So I get up and run, assuming that I can run the fastest as I'm the least injured, towards the mountains.
Voting time!
Fountain time!
Oh.
What's it gonna be?
Yeah, I like all of your ideas for just sprint away.
Run!
Run!
Don't.
This time we're actually voting in Spanish, so press uno for the first one, press dos for the second one.
See.
2 votes for the jackalope.
Trace for the third one, and Leche for the fourth one.
You know, 1, 2, 3 milk.
I feel like that's a song waiting to be written.
It is. 1, 2, 3, milk. It's a waltz. 1, 2, 3, milk. 1, 2, 3, milk.
It's just an ad for a milk company. 1, 2, 3, milk, and it's like doing the milk dance. Milk it up, everybody.
It's the new Got Milk ad. Wait. It's
There's
just
a kid
1,
on
2,
a
3, milk.
skateboard. There's a kid on a skateboard. He like rides down a half pipe and then comes back up, and he's holding like a carton of milk and just goes like, ah, milk, yeah.
It's like easy
He
as
goes
1, 2, 3.
1,
milk.
2, 3, milk. That's how long you drink your milk.
Speaks while he's drinking.
Yeah, it goes everywhere. 1, 3, 2.
It looks like we only got votes for this jackalope, so we're looking for this dang jackalope.
Voice.
I look at the other two, and they just kind of nod for a second. I put my hand into my mouth and just whistle as loudly as possible. We'd said our prayers earlier, so it should work. All of a sudden, through the calm of the aftermath of the meteor shower, you can hear very faintly just a... And off in the distance, a cloud of sand forms around this giant rabbit with antlers, bigger than the size of a horse, just bounding towards us. Poof, 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 through the sand. As it hits, it strikes almost like the meteors did in the sand, flinging it up everywhere, running past the chapel and the trees that are in the desert as if nothing could stop it. It soon lands in front of us with a cloud of sand all around. We kind of cover ourselves and then look up at it, and it just stands there, kind of crouched expectantly. I get on first, and then I help my two friends up onto the back of this creature, and it starts bounding quickly toward the mountain. It's like riding nothing you could imagine. Just this giant beast hopping around, holding on for our dear lives, which is even more difficult for my two injured friends. As we get closer and closer, you can look out into the desert and see some of the chaos that's around us. A small settlement way off on the horizon, with lights burning a lot brighter than usual. It's got just complete chaos in all directions. But we try to ignore everything around us as we're going straight for the mountain. That's the goal. Eventually we get to the foot. And we realize that it's going to be a pretty tough climb even for a giant rabbit. We're going to need to make the rest of our way on foot. So we hop off, and pretty soon it bounds away as quickly as it appeared. Now all we have to do is get to the peak. Which way should we take?
While the desert itself may not have had trees or life, this base of this mountain is teeming with magic. And we can follow the tree line up.
I think we're just gonna have to go for it. No plan, just wander boldly. I'm sure between the three of us, we've survived long enough. It's been a while since we've been in such a lush environment, but I'm sure we can find our way if we just pick a direction and start walking. We gotta go up eventually.
We're in poor shape. We need as much help as we can. We should perform a quick rite to be able to find the right way.
I guess we could just, since everybody's a little injured, including myself, I'd prefer to take the long winding path that leads up there, but we might not make it before it's nighttime, and who knows what will happen at nighttime. All right, vote up.
Vote up.
Go. Oh boy. Things are happening.
That jackalope sequence was beautiful, Alex. I could see it in my
know.
mind. It was such a like thump. That was gorgeous.
Far, Alex.
Did I spell right the right way?
R-I-T-E.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You did the right.
Da-da-da-da-da.
I was just.
That's it, everybody. Thanks so much. We're going to raid our good friend.
Oh my god. We are getting close to the end of the story, though.
We are getting close to the end.
Oh yeah.
This is the end.
Unless we time travel again and go back to the beginning.
We've come again.
Circular plot lines.
Gross.
I have one trick and one trick only.
What is this? Tenet? Ay. All right, chat. We need a larger sample size. If you're there, it's as easy as pushing one button and then hitting another button to send it.
I don't know. I have 100% so far.
Don't let Max tell his story. Ah, there you go. Thank you. Thank you.
Don't let Max tell a story. You just bound and rebound. All through the desert with meteors around.
All right, tiebreaker.
Yep.
What's it gonna be?
We're playing.
You all have the power. The power. It's in your hands. Use it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Uh-oh!
It's
Max does get to tell the story.
Pog. Alright, Max.
Did you just pog?
Is that a t-shirt? Did you just pog?
Tell your damn story, man.
Okay, right, sorry. What did I say? Oh, I remember. My suggestion goes over well. The two veterans rustle around in their bag and pull out a quick supplies. We pass out the candles so that each of us are holding one, and they light on their own with our eyes closed, and murmurs began. The fire, as we bring the candles closer and closer, the fire comes together and it forms into one fireball, and it points us towards the direction that we must go. We follow while holding the candles. We follow the ball of light as the sun crests over the mountain and the shadows draw longer. We keep walking and keep walking. We knew that this wouldn't be a easy journey, but this ball of light is giving us the ability to continue to move. However, we're still walking when it's pitch black outside, and the only thing we have is for heat and for light is the fireball in front of us. As we continue, we find ourselves upon a familiar sight. We knew that we would have to get here eventually, but we wanted to be more prepared. We don't really have the required resources to be able to pull this off the way we wanted, but we find the cut into the walls of the mountain is a large stone door. Our fireball is dying down. The spell's done its job, and now we need to do the next one to get open this door. What do we do?
Though the sword lay broken from the meteorite impact, it is our key into the door. We need to use it as the door commands.
The door is large and heavy. It's going to be too hard to just move. Obviously, there's some kind of a ritual to it. It seems like we'll just have to use what we've already been using and try for another spell.
Maybe the door needs sacrifice.
Maybe if the door recognizes the three of us as a group, he'll let us through. We should hold hands and try to have the door recognize us as one.
Ooh. Ooh.
Hold hands, JK, unless. What if we held hands in front of the stone door?
That's literally, there's an episode of Adventure Time about that, isn't there? About trying to open a door and they all have to be friends to open the door.
I haven't seen it, so can't say I copied it. Ha!
Got him.
I don't remember that.
God damn it, Dom. You can't just give him that, like, what about this big thing and no explanation? They eat that up.
Preferably human.
It's beyond meat.
Yo.
They're like, the tofu. It must burn.
No, Macabrie, no.
Antelope.
The thing is, Dom would do that. Dom would do it just for
Oh, we should start a company called Meat from Beyond. It's just like meat.
Bed Bath and Beyond Meat.
Beyond meat.
So, does that mean it's bed meat, bath meat, and beyond meat?
Oh no.
Oh boy, personally, I like the bath burgers.
It's like a bath bomb, but it's bath water edible and it tastes like burger.
Ew.
I don't know how I'm gonna sleep tonight on my bed steak after hearing that. All right, we got 2 votes for sacrifice, and I know if more people voted, it'd be for that. So, Tom, take it away.
Like so many magics of this world, so many rituals and rites, you can't get anything unless you give something. It's the law of the universe, as old as time itself. as I scramble thinking what we could possibly offer it. We don't have anything of high value, so that won't work. All we have is ourselves, our flesh and blood. Those types of sacrifices can be dangerous, because dangerous sacrifices yield dangerous results, but in times of desperation, danger is all that we have to give ourselves. I can see the same thought flashing across my partner's minds, them thinking what they could possibly have to offer. But they're too weak. My companions can't offer any more blood than they've already given. And besides, they shed that blood at my result. So I think it's my time to offer something as well. Taking the broken hilt of the sword, I immediately stab into one of my legs, draining it at the foot of the door. I can feel my legs start to go limp. It's going to make myself a burden for the rest of the journey, but it's a necessary sacrifice. As I do this, the blood starts to pool, and then it starts to channel up through the cracks of the stone door all the way to its top. When it reaches the middle point of the arch, it shifts, and the stone starts to slowly peel back itself as we're led into a big, dark, cavernous void. We walk in, and torches start to light across the wall down the thing, flick, 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 all the way down. As we go, there's a large staircase that ascends to the peak of the mountain. It's easier to travel this way, but it's much more dangerous than going on the natural face of it. As we start to climb the stone steps, one by one, myself last as I'm dragging my now limp leg up the steps. I can feel the burden of the things around us. I can see the glow of the bag in front of us getting brighter and brighter. As we come closer to reuniting the tablets in full, their magic becomes more alluring and more powerful. As we start to climb heavier and heavier, our bodies start to grow weaker and weaker as gravity gets stronger and the oxygen gets thinner. My companions go to speak, but before they do so, I say something to them. What do I say?
I say, we're almost there. We almost have it completed. This time, we can do it. We're here. This is the furthest we've ever made it.
I tell them, sometimes you have to break things further before they can be reset and fixed. Just keep that in mind.
The tablets were scattered for a reason. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to get cold feet, but shouldn't we really think about this before we do something irrevocable?
I've been waiting my whole life for this day, but I'm scared to go back to the place that we were born.
Whoa. Gotta go back home.
How's it going, Raspberry?
Hey, Raz.
Good to see you, Raz.
We're doing
Hello.
choose your adventure, and you get to vote. So you can vote right now. Just press 1, 2, 3, or 4 on what option you want. Blah, and the story does that.
Who's the person choosing their adventure? It's you!
Oh no!
Use the adventure.
It's you!
Use the choose. Choose.
Adventure. I choose you.
Choose.
Choose.
You must choose.
Choose. Here comes the decision train. Choose.
Here comes the decision train.
Honestly, that's not bad for kids. It's like, all right, kids, you gotta make a choice. Here comes the decision train. Choose.
Are you trying to get your baby to decide which elite preschool to go to?
Yeah, because they choose that and not the parents.
Right. Back and Bree with the 100-bit toot toot.
With the 100-bit toot toot.
The 100-bit toot toot. Now that's a quote.
Ooh, looking like number 1.
Oh, and also, hey, Manolios, we're all impressed by Dom's storytelling. It's not just you.
Oh, that's all. It's in our blood.
It's a. We're trying to stop. We swear.
It's a problem.
It is a curse. Our loved ones can tell you.
Okay, I feel like I just walked into the movie theater halfway through. Yeah, but
A little bit.
Yeah, but imagine if you could walk into a movie halfway through and fuck with the movie. All right.
We started this stream and I felt like I was in a movie halfway through.
All right, Steve.
What if you don't
I've taken
spoil the
control.
ending for yourself because you are the one choosing the ending?
All right, Steve, you're in control.
As we make our way deeper and deeper into this cavern, we finally come across the final chamber, and I look out over the final shards of the tablet that we've been painstakingly assembling through years and through this world. It's almost surreal that soon this will all be over, if it's all over. My two friends go and collect the rest of them as they don't trust me anymore with handling of the tablets after previously acting upon my own whims and actively telling them not to let me handle the tablets. But as we get ready to leave, the hallway seems longer, the darkness encroaching even more, and as we run and sprint down the hallway, we know that this is almost done, and we sprint and sprint, but it doesn't seem like we're going any further. The walls keep stretching to hold us in. It's as if everything wants us to stay in this cavern. But we break out after what seems like hours of running. We're all exhausted, and it's dark, it's pitch black. We look up to the once bountiful sky to see that what had remained has now fallen. All of the stars now lay scattered across the desert in their molten pits as they're still smoldering from falling earlier and from falling while we were stuck inside of the cavern. New pits have emerged as pockmarks like smallpox across the land, and we look as these smoldering hunks of molten rock and rubble sit out across the earth that we have created, that we have done. We've destroyed this earth in search of its salvation. But now is the final test. Now we have to put everything back together. As our two comrades take the shards out of the bag and start assembling it on the top of this mountain, we look at each other and nobody reads what is on the tablets, but we assembled it, this large puzzle of history, finally revealing everything to us, and we all look down at the tablets as the final convergence occurs. What happens?
Everything goes white around us, and soon we find ourselves not who we once were.
Mountain starts to move and becomes an incredibly large insect-like beast.
Verdant grasses and forests explode out from this center. Everything is as it was, except without one thing, without us.
Magic does demand sacrifice.
A beacon shoots up into the sky, and we look out in the distance over where the church was. And we see a light flickering back where the church is.
What's gonna happen? Literally, no one knows.
What's gonna happen?
What is gonna happen?
God damn.
It is cool to be like, literally 0 people on this planet Earth knows what's gonna happen at the end of this story.
Except you, chat. You know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So tell us what's gonna happen.
What's gonna happen? I know what's gonna happen.
Everybody got your decision conductor hats on? Alright.
What a little decision call in your decision engine.
I know what's gonna happen if you pick me.
Decision Black Lung because of the decision call.
It's powered by decision child labor.
Oh god.
Powerful metaphor, guys.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no.
Oh, no. Four's looking strong here.
Oh no!
Uh-oh, Dan. Oh, Dan, you shouldn't have said that.
Dan, what did you do?
Oh no.
Dan, what did you do, Dan?
Oh.
Oh fuck.
It's looking like that's it.
Oh come on, 2 can do it. You guys can vote for 2, right? You guys like that insect beast, right? That injured people. You're gonna tell us, right?
2 to the power of 4 times 3 to the power of 2. Me just voted for 2.
I don't know. I think the Force have it, Daniel.
All right, fine.
Looks like the Force have it.
Here we go. As all the pieces come together, a beacon shoots up into the sky. We look up and we see it angle as it hits the top of the atmosphere. It slides over and it's resting as if it was a wire that's been cut. We look down beneath it, off in the distance, and we see where the church was. The light's flickering there, but not nearly as bright as the beacon is. And the 3 of us look at each other, realizing that we forgot one of the steps. We didn't complete building the church. We didn't complete the ritual. We were so happy to just get this over with, and scared of more meteors and insects and other obstacles for so many months that we had one oversight. And I looked at my friends and they looked back at me. We knew we made a mistake. And I couldn't help but feel responsible. From their scars to the meteors to everything, it's always come back to me. So I guess I had to just do whatever I thought was right in that moment. I leaned forward and I covered my chest over the tablet so that way the light beam goes through me. And I have an enormous amount of pain. It's definitely gonna scar, I can guarantee you that. I fly up into the air, going with the beam. I get thrown over to the church, moving as faster than I've ever moved before, and I'm a pretty quick runner. The sand in the air, it's not as bad higher up. There's almost no sand. It's the first time I haven't breathed in sand for years, it feels. As I get brought back down onto the church, I get brought down into the basement, in through the trapdoor, and I see the light that's flickering in the basement. I don't know how I'm supposed to complete this ritual, but I don't feel like I have much time. And my friends need me now. I guess the world needs me too. What should I do?
All power requires a source. And what could be more powerful than a human soul?
Light flickering is where the foundation isn't quite right. I need to hold this up and complete the construction, even if it means completing it with myself.
Magic demands sacrifice.
Simply put, the reason the spell didn't work was because the stars had fallen out of the sky. The magic was gone. I need to release the souls to be able to refill the sky with stars, including my own.
Alright, I'm not the brain. Get out of here.
Thanks, Kat.
Dom, while we're waiting for votes, you should tell the cage story.
Oh, it was a long-running thing in my high school that if there was a zombie apocalypse, I was very explicit with them that they absolutely needed me to survive, but they 100% should keep me locked up in a cage because I will betray all of them. But they're gonna need me to get as far as they eventually get. So,
Well, Dom, it looks like the apocalypse is in your court this time. They demand more sacrifice.
magic demands sacrifice. I say these words over and over. They fall out of my mouth. As they do, I peel the tablet back from my chest, the words now inscribed. I can see the little runes moving and flowing as they do on the tablet. Each one is a living scar as it transforms and morphs across my chest. I put the tablet down into the light. It takes to it. It starts to surge and the light grows brighter. But then it starts to weaken a little bit more. Magic demands sacrifice, I say to myself. I look to give blood, but I'm pretty tapped, having spent most of it at the door. The journey over here didn't do much for my physical health either. Magic demands sacrifice, I think to myself. As I start to think this thought, the words form on my chest. Magic demands sacrifice. I look longingly out the window. Like an eagle's vision, I feel I can see my friends as they stand atop the mountain, watching the church below flicker in stuttering white light. The stars, dark above, call out for magic to be restored once more. And there I give to it. I kneel down and I read the words of the tablet in their completion, full, whole. As I do, the cracks of the tablet start to mend and heal, but with each crack fade, it appears on my body. As I read the first few words, my arms and bones start to break. They start to splinter. I have taken the cracks of the tablet. Magic demands sacrifice. The words on my chest now bleeding as I read them out loud. As I do this, I can see the greenery outside the church start to bring forth. A mighty roar lets out as the canyon. Water starts to pour from the mountain, and with it the greenery of the earth starts to return. As I read the final words, the exclamation points that dot the tablet, as it heals its final cracks. A bright white light flashes in the sky. I do not get to see what happens next, but stars, I am told, populated the sky, thousands and many of them, once more light shining upon the earth. As I go to put the tablet, I lift it up, too feeble to move my muscles. And as I do, the weight of it crushes me underneath it. I'm left there, dead.
That's the end.
That's the end. Yeah. The end.
The end.
Love it. Love it.
Wow.
Wow, great story, chat. I'm so
Yeah.
glad we all got to sit and listen to it.
Good
Yeah.
vote.
Chat, quick question. What were
You
the
guys
names
are
of
good
the
storytellers. Way to go, chat.
What do you ask, Steve?
I asked chat what was the name of the friends? You never told us.
Yeah. That was a little bit of an oversight on your part. Generally, you want to establish the characters.
Yeah, you always gotta pick character names. It's important.
Saj?
Otherwise, you're gonna be referring to the characters as the one with the one scar and the one with the other scar
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah, I tried to think if there was a way to not die, but then I realized there wasn't a way to not die.
Magic demand.
Demand sacrifice.
Well, I mean, not in your ending, there wasn't a way to die.
Oh well.
Or to not die.
Wasn't my ending, it was chat's ending.
Well, I
Yeah, true.
realized I'm like they never completed
Oh wait.
what they were setting out to do. But
Yeah,
he
true.
was we were the church the whole time. I just
Wow.
didn't know.
In my mind, there's a really nice epilogue scene that happens, but it's at Christmas a week later.
Yeah,
It's snowing on like the trees. It's really pretty.
on the 3 remaining evergreens. Well, there's a
Three
lot
remaining
more now.
evergreen. Well, now there's more. Yeah, they came back.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks everyone for sticking around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just checked. I don't have that pog anymore.
Oh no.
He
The
said
jack
Jack-
motion.
How
No.
dare you?
the jack.
I will say
is a
it didn't happen, but if you had voted for mountain insect, we would have had a giant kaiju battle. I'm just throwing it out there. That's not what you wanted, and I respect that choice.
How could
if
you do that?
But if you wanted a kaiju battle, you should have voted mountain insect.
Ooh, Kath. We our last one was a little bit spooky. Were you there for that?
Yeah.
Last one was heckin' spooky.
Yeah,
it
last one we
was-
did was a horror. It was like a mystery horror. Yeah.
It was actually pretty scary.
Show and tell dead.
Intel dead.
That was a
Wait alive.
solid bit, Steve.
Did we use that pre-roll?
Yeah,
we did
we've
one.
used that one.
Okay, yeah, we had back when we were in person, we had
Yes, do you remember
pre-roll
that?
bit before the
Remember when
show.
we did pre-rolls?
Give me the hard drive.
Sorry, Steve.
Razzing each other.
Right.
Well, I've got nothing left. So, is motion design still on?
No, I don't believe I saw that.
Oh man.
Uh,
It was their birthday though.
I think they're still on. Yeah,
Oh, are they?
yeah, they're still on.
Oh, they're not popping up in my feed, but I'm glad they are still on. We will go celebrate them.
All right, everybody. It's Motion Designs. A big birthday, the big 5-0.
Whoa!
Hey yo!
So go over.
For those of
there.
you who don't know, Motion Design is an incredible friend of the stream. One of the very first people to really support us in a meaningful way. So let's go give them a big shout out for their 50th birthday. They're a wonderful human being and deserve all the love. So here we go!
All right.
Come back Friday!
Maybe more
Yeah,
shenanigans
thanks,
during the
everybody.
week.
Come back Friday for our actual long or our short form show though.
Yeah, and just stay tuned because we'll probably be doing more during the week.
Yeah.
Goodbye!
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Oh,
Bye.
oh no.
Bye.
Oh no,
Bye.
we're getting sucked into the sand. Oh,